Welcome to MMA Dawgs. My name is Hector, and as always, thank you for tuning in. The homework is done, the video footage is watched, interviews have been listened to, everything has been done, and it all leads up to this prediction video. If you are watching this before the Ultimate Fighter 18 finale, then that means you are a client of ours, and we appreciate your business. So, a couple things I want to take care of and get out of the way before we dive into all the fun stuff. The first thing is you never want to bet more than you can afford to lose. So you always want to be real careful. We go into it with the best of intentions, always with a lot of confidence. And, going into it knowing that we are going to win. But you always want to be careful because sometimes the ball just doesn't come down. I like that the quote in White Men Can't Jump, where they're playing basketball and it goes, man, sometimes the ball just doesn't come down. So that can happen. But like I said, of course, we always go into it positive, thinking positive, staying positive, because when you put in the hard work, it's not difficult to be optimistic and to be positive. But you always want to be careful, of course. And the second thing is just make sure you check with your local government. Know your laws, where you can bet, where you can't bet. And that way, makes it much easier and safe and legit. You don't have to worry about anything. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope all of you have spent it with your loved ones, with your family, friends. It's always a great time to enjoy the holiday. And all right, let's dive right into it. So, the Ultimate Fighter Finale 18, UFC. Now, for those of you who are familiar, and for those of you who aren't, we have a system and a way of grading it. So we have our 5-star picks, which are large to huge plays. They are always parlay worthy. 4-star picks, medium to large plays, and they all are also parlay worthy. And then we have our 3-star plays, which are small to medium plays, and I recommend to not parlay those. Definitely not for any serious money. So 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. Just a couple things, couple numbers to get out of the way here. In the last 3 UFC events, we have gone 11-0. So that is some serious winning. There was some good amount of 4-star plays in there. The last event was Rashad Evans. A large play on Rashad Evans, 4 stars, came through with flying colors. And we're not always going to have more than one play. There might be a card where I just give it away because I don't have any serious bets or any serious plays, and there's no sense in charging our clients money for an event that doesn't have anything worthy, and there's no sense in pushing anything. So yeah, so last week, it was 2 weeks ago, it was one large play came through, great night, and also I changed it up for the almost made the cut and all that stuff. They are now 2 stars, 1 stars, and 0 stars. So the 2-star, 1 stars, and 0 stars are not they're not bets. It's a way of ranking them, so that way you know my confidence in them, and also a way of gauging where the confidence is. So if it's 2 stars, it's higher than a 1 star, it's higher than a 0 star. But the guaranteed picks are the 5-star, 4-star, and 3-star because those are the ones that are worthy of it, because those are the plays that we're making. So let's dive straight into it. I'll break down every single fight, tell you why I like a bet, why I don't like a bet, why I like this fighter, what I see, what I predict, and I think you guys really like this one because there aren't too many. The ones that are obvious choices to some people are actually, in my opinion, closer fights than what the odds state. Some of the odds I think are totally off. So this is an interesting, very interesting card. I'm looking forward to breaking this one down. I'm not hooting and hollering and yelling because Um, there's my family who is sleeping, and I definitely don't want to wake them up with my hooting and hollering, and get that wild party started. And then the other thing I want to touch on, a couple things actually, is the reason I do these prediction videos when I do is because the day of the weigh-ins is a very important day, and there's a lot of information that I get on the day of the weigh-ins and after the weigh-ins. So I put all this together. I put the finishing touches on this day, and then there's a lot of information to soak in at the weigh-in and after the weigh-ins, and so that's why I gather as much information as I can, and then pull the trigger when it's ready. So to be pulled, so you have to just be patient and know that there is a rhyme and reason into this madness. So yeah. Okay, so the first betting pick. So this is number 3. So I have 3 guaranteed picks. I guarantee that more winners than losers. So I guarantee at least 2 of these are going to win. Of course, I want all 3. I expect all 3. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it this far. So let's dive into the number 3 pick. Then we'll dive into the number 2 pick, and then we'll dive into my number 1 pick this weekend. So number 3, and that is going to be an interesting fight between 2 really tall girls, and that is Duke versus Morgan. The guaranteed betting pick is Miss Duke, Jessamyn Duke. Now, in Duke, I see a very athletic fighter. She's fast. She's got raw talent. She's got a great build. And she has a lot more potential to improve than her opponent. And that is very important because when they shoot the Ultimate Fighter, after that they break off into they go back to their lives. But some of the fighters go and train with their coaches that they met on the show. And in this case, because it's a women's division, the actual fighters. So Miss Duke went to go train with Ronda Rousey and Marina Shafir, who's one of Ronda Rousey's training partners. And that is excellent. That is just a winning combination. I just remember the first time I watched Duke fight, I was just very impressed with her talent. I was very impressed with a lot of times when you take these fighters, they have a certain build and a certain level of leanness, a certain level of hydration, and she just has genetics to take it very far in the sport. And her odds right now are around. You can find her at around minus 210, which are very good odds. And I just see her going in there, getting the first round submission. And with Morgan, she's got a similar build and skills, but not nearly as much potential, and not nearly as refined. And I really expect Duke to go in there, have her way, get the first round submission, get the first round finish. And I love this play. Let me take a big drink of this green water cup here, green for money. Now this next fight, I'm very familiar with one of these fighters, and with the other one I became very familiar in the last three weeks or so, and watching his fights, and it is Tom Niinimaki, a Finnish fighter, going up against Yahya. And the pick, my number 2 pick here, second pick of the night, is Tom Niinimaki, sitting at around plus 100, so even money, dollar for dollar. So he's a slight underdog, very tiny underdog. I believe Yahya sitting at around minus 115, minus 120. And but Tom Niinimaki, like I say, he's a Finnish fighter from Finland, very well-rounded, very technical. He travels not only around Europe, but also into the United States. I know he's trained with the Black Zillions. He's big, fast, focused, strong 145-pounder, and he's fought decent opposition, especially recently. He fought Walla Watson, he fought Chase Beebe, and in this fight, it's very interesting because Yahya is a grappler, world-class grappler. And I'm very familiar with him because I have bet on him in cash in the past, just like I did with Rafael Sapo, just like I have with Honey Marks. And I have a good read for these guys, and I know when it's time to bet the opposite. In the last couple fights that Yahya's fought in, I've been just holding on to dear life. Just thinking, please survive, please don't gas. And one of his last outings he had in Brazil, man, I knew that the next time this guy fights anybody who's somewhat decent, I'm going with the other guy. And not only is Tom somewhat decent, he's a good fighter, and I'm glad the UFC has brought him in. I think he's 31 or 32, so he's right in his prime. And don't get it twisted. Tom's not going to be a champion at 145 or anything like that. But yeah, his cardio is just horrible in my opinion, especially for a UFC fighter. Bad cardio. He's got a big heart. He hangs in there. He doesn't quit. But he's due for a loss. It's time for him to lose. And I love Tom, especially at plus 100. I can't believe it. I can't believe it because I see what Yahya has accomplished, but it's time, and this is a time to pull the trigger on Tom, and I expect him to keep the fight on the feet and get the knockout TKO. So Tom Niinimaki, that's a pretty cool last name, I think, for the win there. So we got Duke, Niinimaki, and then the next fighter coming up is one of my all-time favorites. We have Gray Maynard going up against Nate Diaz, and for our number one pick, last and final pick of the night, guaranteed, we got Gray the Bully Maynard at around minus 135. Man, Gray Maynard has all the tools to win this fight. It's his second full camp with AKA. One of his main training partners is Josh Thompson, who just knocked out Diaz in his last fight. I expect Gray Maynard to go back to his wrestling, and I know he had a wrestling-based camp, and I expect him to go in there, wrestle Diaz, ground and pound him, protect himself defensively against a submission, and just beat him up on the ground. Diaz, I respect Diaz, I really do, and he's one of those guys that's just a fighter at heart. He's just a fighter. Him and his brother are just fighters, scrappers. But the problem with them is that they aren't explosive. They don't have power. So they do their pitter-patter punching, and they do have submissions, so they are dangerous, very dangerous on the ground. But they lose against wrestlers, against strong wrestlers. I remember one fight Nate Diaz had at 170 against Dong Young Kim. This is like 3 years ago, where Diaz's jiu-jitsu was the same as it is now. I mean, I'm sure he maybe improved a little bit, but I expected Dong Young Kim to get in his guard and then Diaz to pull off submission. He didn't. That's just one example. I mean, at 155, it's the same thing. When he goes up against wrestlers, the Diaz brothers lose, and I can't ignore that. As much as a scrapper as he is, Diaz has 2 losses in a row. These two guys have fought each other before, but with Diaz, I just see the same thing over and over and over. He doesn't have knockout power, and I just see Maynard taking him down, beating him up on the ground, maybe even outstriking him. But I think the best idea would be to take him down, beat him up, and I really like Maynard a lot in this fight. So I feel very confident with Maynard in this particular fight. He's in shape, ready to go. Diaz is talking about, I don't want to make this cut down to 155 again. I want to fight at 170. At 170 is too weak. At 155, still, even then, he doesn't have the wrestling. He's got the jiu-jitsu, but the wrestling is very important. And when you have a wrestler who can fight off submissions and is very smart like Maynard, it's going to be tough to beat. So it's only 3 rounds too. So I'm going with Gray Maynard all the way. I love that play. So number 3 is Duke, number 2 is Niinimaki, and number 1 is Gray Maynard. That makes a total of 3. All 3 stars, small to medium plays, and I guarantee those, or I will give my clients their money back. And let's continue going down the line here. So we'll go to 2 stars. So these are ones that are food for thought. They're not guaranteed picks below, but if you're thinking about playing them, hey, I can't blame you. And let's go into the first one that almost made the cut. I was so close to pulling the trigger on this guy. And that guy's name is Sean Spencer. He's going up against Dober. So we got Spencer versus Dober. And Sean Spencer, it's his 3rd UFC fight. The first fight he had, he actually fought at 185. So he's a welterweight. He fought at 185 against Rafael Natal. Took the fight on short notice, and he lost. Second fight, he goes down to Brazil. In Brazil, beats a Brazilian, which, as we know, is very tough to do. Yuri Villafort, a little overrated, this and that. But I was very impressed with Spencer. In the 3rd round, his trainer, his coach said, hey, do you want to get on that plane ride and feel and be a loser? Or do you want to go out and win this fight? And he delivered. Spencer went out there in the 3rd round, gave it his all, didn't leave anything. And it's very important for fighters that they listen to their coaching. And not only to have the skills, because a lot of fighters, like I'll talk about Blanco in a little bit, fighters who have a lot of skills, but then when they go in the octagon, they freeze up, tense up, call it fight IQ, call it fight smart, and they just don't use their skills. So half the battle is listening to your coaches, listening to your corner, the people who have your best interest in mind. And I see Sean Spencer beating up Dober on the feet. I like Spencer's stand up, beating him up on the feet. Now Dober is a 155-pound fighter, taking this fight on short notice at 170 pounds with Moraes being injured and out. He tried making on the Ultimate Fighter 15. He was eliminated by Crookshank. He's a scrapper. He's got heart. He's got a good chin, but he's a level below Spencer. So Sean Spencer for the win, for the pick. And I would say a decision or a 2nd round or 3rd round knockout TKO, something along those lines for Spencer. The next fight, also 2 stars. Oh, one other thing. So I know a lot of the clients have emailed me or touched base about them traveling to Vegas when the fight is in Vegas. So they're looking for a frisky play sometimes. Something very small, but something that might cash out, something like that. So like I said, this is a 2-star play. I can't guarantee it, but if you're going to bet on Spencer, I can't blame you, and he probably will win. So I think he's sitting around minus 180 right now, minus 185, minus 175. So I like him a lot. I just can't guarantee it, but he almost made the cut, so that should tell you something there. And so yeah, so it's something to keep in mind, especially if you're in Vegas or if you're on vacation or somewhere and you definitely want to bet. And a lot of times, people want frisky parlays, like a small parlay with good odds, and I'll go over a couple of those. But yeah, so Sean Spencer almost made the cut, guys, but he didn't for me. The next guy, have been very impressed with him, very impressed with him, and his name is Chris Holdsworth. That's my pick. He's fighting Grant with Holdsworth. Team Alpha Male. We know those savages up there. Faber, Benavidez, Mendez, Dillashaw, Bang Muay Thai, Ludwig up there. He's got good wrestling. He's got excellent jiu-jitsu black belt. And he's got better striking than Grant. Holdsworth is just a winner. I can see it. I see it in his face. But Grant, man, he is in great shape for this fight. I know he's been improving. I know he's smart. I know he's a strong fighter. And he may be looking to take down Holdsworth and hold, no pun intended, hold Holdsworth down for 3 rounds and use his strength. But Holdsworth is not going to be easy to be held down. And Holdsworth is a more well-rounded fighter in my opinion, um, especially training with those guys for the last however long, 4 or 5 months he's been training with them. So I got to give the edge to Holdsworth. I think he's a little over -200 favorite. If you're gonna bet him, pick with him, bet side with him. I can't blame you for that. So yeah, Holdsworth for the win there. Decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Holdsworth doesn't knock him out or finish him. So almost made the cut once again, very close, but I can't guarantee it. If you want to bet him, I can't blame you. The next fight is very interesting, very interesting, and that is. And I'll tell you who my pick is. My pick is actually the underdog here. I like Walt Harris. Walt Harris going up against Rosholt. Um, Walt Harris, athletic, fast, powerful. Trains at Coconut Creek, Florida, with American Top Team. I saw a couple videos of him hitting the mitts with one of the Mayweather uncles, one of Floyd's uncles. He's going to be the better striker for sure, and he's going to be looking for the knockout. Rosholt, oh, man, OSU, Oklahoma State University wrestler, very, very, very good wrestler. But it doesn't always pan out for these guys in MMA. It doesn't always pan out, unfortunately, and he's slow, very hittable. And in this fight, he needs to wrestle. That's it, plain and simple. Rosholt needs to wrestle. If he keeps this on his feet, Harris is going to knock him out in the first round, and that's my prediction. Walt Harris for a knockout. He's sitting at +175. The Walt Harris inside the distance is, I think, +200, because if he wins, that's the way he's going to win it. But I like him here. I mean, I almost guaranteed him. These three guys, Spencer, Holdsworth, and Harris, I almost guaranteed them all, but I just, for one thing or the other, I couldn't, just based off of doing the tally and figuring out, what ways this guy have to win, what ways this guy have to win, and they almost made the cut, though. Almost made the cut, Walt Harris. So those three guys, so close. If you're in Vegas, you want to bet them, I can't blame you. Spencer, Holdsworth, and Harris. Very close 2-star picks. Now we go down to the 1-star level. These aren't nearly as close, but they're interesting nonetheless. Food for thought, basically. And another upset here, in my opinion, in my eyes, what I see happening tomorrow night, and that is Jessica Rakoczy taking on Pena. I like Rakoczy here. I really do. She's experienced, accomplished boxer, and she uses it. A lot of times you get these guys who go in there, accomplished wrestlers, accomplished boxers, accomplished strikers, K1 strikers, accomplished whatever, and they go in there and they don't use it, or they don't know how to use it to their best of their ability. And I don't have patience for that. I don't. I like betting against people who are like that. But with Rakoczy, I see her using her skills that she has. I see a big heart in her. Anytime somebody's fighting with a big heart and fighting for family, I like that. Usually that brings the best out of them. And one more thing I forgot to mention: Gray Maynard, his wife and his daughter, for 6 weeks, left him alone to train, just focus on his training and nothing else. And that's a big motivating factor for some people. And with Rakoczy, I see the same thing. She needs to have worked on her takedown defense. I know she has, and she works with a great experienced team. So I like that a lot in her favor. Right now, Rakoczy's sitting at +230, +215. Wow. Yeah, I'm very. If you're in Vegas and you want to throw some money her way, I can't blame you for that. That one's a very interesting dog. And with Pena, she's got solid grappling. She's young. She's improving, but her striking is average at best. And she needs to get the takedown, and she needs to work her submissions. But Rakoczy's going to be prepared for that. Rakoczy is going to be prepared for that, and I think Pena is At first, I thought my first impression of her was that she's talented, but the more I watched her fights and the more I broke them down, the more I realized that actually, you know what? Jessica Rakoczy is going to be a 2-star. She is no longer a 1-star. She's a 2-star, right up there with Spencer, Holdsworth, and Harris. So this is the first time I've ever done this during a video, but I'm bumping her up because she deserves to be that one step closer to nearly being a guaranteed pick. So Rakoczy over Pena for the upset. I like that a lot. 2 stars now. So I've got Rakoczy, Harris, Holdsworth, Spencer, all 2 stars. And then let's go down to the 1-star level now with Raquel Pennington. She's my pick over the Happy Warrior Modafferi. With Raquel Pennington, she has better striking, stronger, should be able to keep the fight standing. Modafferi's takedowns are horrible, very, very slow, and get the knockout TKO in the second round. Modafferi, she's experienced. She's a great girl. She has great energy. I like her, just her personality, her aura. But more people should be like her. But she's slow, and she appears to be done. To me, she just appears to be done. I don't have a cent riding on Pennington. I would like to see Modafferi win, but I'm smart, and the prediction is going to be Pennington. So, yeah. And but I will be rooting Modafferi on since I have nothing riding on it, and why wouldn't I root for her? Now, the next one, these are 0 stars, so there's just way too many variables. Do not bet, just too many question marks here and there. And this guy, first of all, Maximo Blanco is my pick. He's sitting at around minus 175, minus 185. You can find him even minus 160 some spots, but Maximo Blanco, this guy gets into brawls, doesn't use his brain. His skills are better. His skills are good, but he doesn't utilize them in his favor, which he shoots. Very concerning. When you have money, your hard-earned money on fighters, that's what you do not want to bet on. But he's well-rounded. He's got a good chin. He's power. He's got explosiveness. And with Corassani, I saw huge improvements, especially in his footwork when he fought Problems Peralta. I was very impressed. I was like, what? Did they clone this guy, or is this somebody else, or what the hell's going on here? He needs to keep the fight on his feet. But and not to mention that Corassani had one of the best moments in Ultimate Fighter history for me, when he beat his opponent, and then he acted like he had a machine gun, a Rambo machine gun. The opposition went totally nuts. I got such a kick out of that. So he's got a good sense of humor, but. Maximo Blanco looks in really good shape for this fight. I notice he looks to be come in shape, come in focused. So I'm going to go with Maximo Blanco for the pick, but no interest in betting it whatsoever. We'll see what happens with that fight. And another fight, 0 interest. So just like in betting anyways, any money. Pennington, Blanco, and then the next one, Ryan, Benoit, fighting Sampo. Sampo missed weight. Right off the bat, I did not like that. Right off the bat, that's a loss. You lost a battle of making weight. That's a problem. So I'm going with Ryan. Originally I had Sampo, but I can't do that. I'm gonna go with Ryan. He's a scrapper. He's got knockout power. He's wild. He's got defensive holes, especially on the ground. And then Sampo, he missed weight. He's better rounded than Benoit, and he should out grapple him. And he has better cardio, even going 5 rounds. But missing weight, that I don't like that one bit. That's a loss right there. So, yep, the pick is Benoit. So that does it. Very interesting. I can't wait for it. I'm gonna go get some sleep now, and very excited for these fights. Now let's go over some other plays. So the dogs of the night. I actually have 2 dogs of the night. First one is Walt Harris, sitting at around plus 185, and Jessica Rakoczy, sitting at around plus 230. So those are the dogs of the night. Of course, bet at your own risk. But you know, like I said, some people who email me, hey, I'm in Vegas. I want to know a little more, not just the guaranteed picks, but also how you feel about these other ones. So that's why I created this. I'm sure maybe I didn't create it, but at least the way I apply it in MMA, you know, with the 2-star picks, borderline, almost guaranteed, but yeah, I can't guarantee those. So, but interesting nonetheless. The parlay of the night: Maynard and Niinimaki. Those two guys combined give you a payout of plus 248. Very nice. And the Hail Mary parlay of the night: Maynard, Niinimaki, plus Duke, and Spencer, plus 688. So that is very nice. So that wraps it up for my clients. I want to move on to the next event. I want to move into the next event. I think it's Bigfoot versus Hunt in Australia for the next one, and I want to move into that event 14-0. Knock on wood. You know, very humble, very very respectful, but also after the homework's done, you gotta let the energy flow. I like to just get into it, really, bring the energy out, when the fights are going on, and which is why I like, going to as many fights as I can. It's just so much fun, so much energy. So my hooting and hollering is always from a good place. It's never from boastful or anything like that. And because I'm not perfect, I lose too. And so I want to move on to this next one, 14-0, and there's some good picks coming up too that I'll be able to guarantee in Australia. And this message is for the people who are on the fence about it, who are like, wave teetering back and forth, like, oh, do I want to pay these guys a fee to give me advice, or to give me this, or to give me that? And for that, I would say, check our website out. The proven track record is there. I'm not claiming I'm perfect or anything like that. I've had bad nights, and I'm sure I will have bad nights in the future. But as time goes on, I work hard towards minimizing those bad nights and having nothing but good nights. The last 3 events have been awesome. Have just been great. And I've been there before. When I first started, where you reload your bankroll and just it just becomes a nightmare. But over the years, I've kept my notes. I've shown you guys tons and tons of notes. I keep tons of these notepads everywhere, just when I have different thoughts, listening to different interviews. I listen to interviews and a ton of interviews all throughout the week. And there are certain trends and certain things that I pick up on that are just, to me, they're very obvious. Maybe to some people who are less experienced, a little bit harder. And maybe to some guys who are better than me, it's even easier. But I do my best, to keep as many notepads, keep as much notes as I can, and then track everything. My dog, you guys don't see very much at all anymore, but he's working real hard. He's in charge of the Facebook, updating everything, keeping everything up to date. And that way I can focus just on watching all the fights, listening to the interviews, talking to different people, different trainers, just trying to get as much information as I can, as if though I'm going into the fight, preparing for a fight, and I can't imagine during the holiday season getting ready for a fight, Thanksgiving, not eating the delicious turkey and mashed potatoes and stuff. So a lot of stuff that plays into this. And so for the people who are on the fence, don't wait any longer. Just go into it with a set amount, whether it's a couple $500, couple $1,000, whatever much you want to bet. Just make sure it's not more than you can afford to lose, and you'll be fine. You just gotta be careful with it, be smart about it, just like anything else. If you go play the stock market, or if you go open up a certificate, or if you go and open up a money market account, or if you go and you start investing in stocks, like I said, the market, you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be beat by people who are better than you. So that's what I'm here for. and that's what I do. And our clients, my dog and I clients, are very happy. Repeat clients, all who just consistently from the beginning have supported our opinions, and it's a great relationship. I'm really happy with it, and I look forward to getting more success, more clients, having even more stuff on the website, and creating more and more MMA stuff. Maybe creating a nice studio or something along those lines. When I'm not traveling, and it's just a great thing we've got going here. So yeah, give us a shot. What do you have to lose? And even if you want to be conservative the first couple times out, that's fine. And then once you can have at it, the 5-star picks are hitting at 100%, 4-star picks a little over 80%, and the 3-star picks are around a little over 60% now. So it's solid information, solid plays, and it's a lot of fun. I started it because it was fun, and then once I started getting decent at it, and then better and better, that's when I started thinking, hey, you know what, this is something that I could do for something that is very profitable, and that not only profitable, but I enjoy, and it's just the fastest growing sport. UFC's worth about $2 billion. So anytime there's that much money being made, there's money to be made through the whole spectrum, all angles. So it's just an awesome situation to be in, and I'm real grateful and real thankful. I know sometimes you guys don't see too much of it, but my family and friends, I like to have a good time and hoot and holler, and just have a great. I just like having a good time, and it's never out of a bad spot. It's never out of like a boastful spot or look at me. It's more like, hey, this is something I enjoy. I feel passionate about, and I'm having a great time. So yeah, so I would encourage you guys. I'm gonna try and do some more hype videos. So some more videos that we release for free, talking about the upcoming matchups and stuff like that. And yeah, that wraps it up. It's late, and I need to go get some sleep. But so yeah, hopefully that for the 2 stars, I gave a little bit more insight into those, so that way people who are looking to maybe play some small wagers, nothing too crazy, they can take a look, or some frisky parlays. I know a lot of people like parlays, so you could throw some of those in. They're small though, guys, like very small. Even like the Hail Mary parlay, some people don't think that as a very big Hail Mary parlay, but parlays you want to hit, you don't want to lose. Even if it's a tiny bet, you still don't want to lose. Who likes to lose? So like my Hail Mary parlay is only 4 people, but it pays nearly 7 to 1. So and some people might think a Hail Mary parlay is like 200 to 1, but those are very rare that you hit. So so 7 to 1 usually is around a good number to expect a realistic chance. So yep, that wraps it all up. Thank you guys for tuning in. For the people watching after the fights, give us a shot. I guarantee you guys will enjoy it. It doesn't have to be all the time. It can be maybe I don't know, once a month, or it could be once every 2 months. Just give it a shot. Give us a shot. I guarantee you guys will be satisfied. And so yeah, I guarantee more winners than losers. Wraps it up. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, and I will talk to you all real soon. And remember, fortune favors the brave, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Good luck.